Welcome, sinners.
Hi, welcome to Tammi and the Preacher podcast. I'm Tammi.
And I'm the Preacher.
And on this podcast, we're going to talk about all things sex. So strap in or strap one on and enjoy the show. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Tammi and the Preacher.
Hey, Tammi.
How are you this week?
I'm doing good.
Oh, well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, just a little update for our listeners. Hopefully, everything has switched over. I think I finally got Pandora worked out.
Let's hope.
It was not good because Pandora was the finicky little bitch in this whole thing. Where it's not Pandora's fault, it's just the way their systems run.
Right.
And I was back and forth with emails with Pandora support, and they were very, very helpful on helping me do this.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, but what it ended up being was every time I would submit the new RSS feed link to Pandora, which is through Simplecast. And Simplecast aggregates to Pandora, XM Radio, Stitcher, stuff like that. What was happening was it was not staying in there. It kept populating to the old RSS feed link.
Oh.
So what Pandora ended up doing was deleting our original show and restarting a new one with the new RSS feed link. So if any of you are listening out there and you cannot get us on Pandora, please research us through their database and refollow us, because it's going to be almost like it's a new and different show. So if you followed us before on Pandora and our episodes and our show is not showing up anymore, that is why. It is a whole new thing.
If you're listening on Pandora, you probably can't hear this.
Well, a lot of people have different outlets, and they can always go to our website, TammiPreacher.com, Tammi with an I, and they can also listen there, so they will be able to hear this. I mean, I have had people, there have been a couple of people, especially one person in Facebook that has been kind of keeping me updated on this.
Okay.
It's one of those things where she ended up listening to it on Spotify. So if they're listening by some other outlet, now you know, just go in, research us on Pandora, refollow us, then our updated episodes will show up on your feeds.
Cool.
So yeah, and
whatever that means.
I know you're so lost all the damn time. So speaking of the person that's kind of been helping us, like helping me anyway, understand that we're not getting out on Pandora. She actually sent me an email that was kind of about the last episode.
Okay.
Yeah, she was like, the last podcast is not on Pandora, which she said you figured already know, just in case. She said, my husband was on Spotify, so we listened to it on his. Then she said, the latest episode talked about the taste of fluids. I thought I would share that I used to use a Fitness Pal to keep up with my calories, and it has a first morning come as an option to enter for calories.
Really?
Yes. And I found that just
That is funny.
Yeah, it is. And I was kind of looking up, like, how many calories are in cum. And semen contains between 5 and 25 calories per teaspoon.
Well.
I know.
You won't get very many calories from me because hardly anything comes out now.
Oh, God.
Back in the old days, it was...
Might get a couple tablespoons.
Yeah, it was a lot. I could make a mess.
But who knew? Who knew that you were getting...
I didn't know you could enter that. It was like a Fitbit or something like that.
Yeah,
wow,
I guess you
cool.
could. That is cool. You could enter it. So, hey.
That's for the frisky people in the morning.
But yeah, here's my thing. First morning come. What if we're not doing it in the morning? Do they got like evening options?
Maybe they do.
I don't know.
If you looked at my belly, you'd know I don't wear one of them watches that tells you all the fitness stuff.
Right. So, got a couple different things going on here that I'd like to talk about. But before we do, you got aphilia?
Oh, yeah, I think I do.
Oh, I know you do.
I'm going to have to load some more out of my phone into the book because I'm running low.
Oh, God. So you got a hand transfer?
Yeah, otherwise I forget what I've talked about.
Good God. Connect me to 1985, please.
I don't know how to pronounce this.
Of course not.
Autosassinophilia. INOPHILIA.
And it is for what?
Excitement in the face of danger of being assassinated.
What the fuck?
I don't know where that one came from, but it was on the list.
Hello, Jackie. Oh, what the hell?
I guess maybe that's one of those danger situations where you get excited thinking that something bad's fixing to happen to you. But it said assassination.
Yeah, that's just, that's really
wow.
odd.
It's like, did Mel Gibson get excited in Lethal Weapon whenever he was all chained up?
No, that's just really...
Yeah, I mean, that's what I would think.
Huh. That's just,
That was different. That one really caught me. I was like, wow.
That's strange. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on.
I don't think about getting assassinated.
Right? I don't either. So, I seen something on the news the other day. And before we get to that, I do want to ask a question to our listeners. And I encourage you...
And you're looking at a paper.
I am.
Make fun of me.
Well, that is true, but I don't do it all the time like you do.
Yeah, well, I write everything down.
So, I encourage our listeners to look this up, because I didn't know. And it is Rule 34 for porn.
Rule 34 for porn.
Yes. Rule 34 states, if it exists, there is porn on it.
Okay, I believe that, yes.
I have never heard of the term Rule 34.
I hadn't either.
So I found it fascinating, and it was actually my nephew who told me about that. Huh. So it's pretty interesting. So if you guys don't know, I encourage you to just look it up, because it is a real thing. I'm not making this shit up, but Rule 34.
I'm going to have to show that to Candy.
Yeah. So, it is what it is. So
Rule 34.
Yep. The other day, I was watching TV, which is sometimes rare. If I'm not watching a specific TV show,
it's background noise.
It's background noise.
I'm that way a lot.
Of course, it was the news, and it was BBC News. And
Big Black Cock News.
Yes, it was. And they were talking about the Red Light District in Amsterdam.
Oh, yeah?
Which, I've heard about it.
I've heard about it forever.
My whole life. And their big thing is that Amsterdam was pretty much trying to discourage the Brits from coming to Amsterdam because they're treating it like a zoo. And sex workers are sometimes protesting. They're protesting for other reasons, but this is part of it. I guess that it's overwhelmed by its popularity, and Amsterdam is ramping up, and it pushes to reband its Go Wild and No Rules image. Drunken Brits are being told to stay home. Now, and there's also going to be clampdowns on cannabis and stuff like that. But the reason why is because I guess that a lot of people are going there and they're pissing on everything. They're treating it like
it's like a septic, yeah.
But I get that Amsterdam, the red light district, has it's got a reputation.
Yeah.
But I guess that they're sick of it being the reputation of just
cesspool.
Disgust.
Yeah.
And I guess British men are the worst at this, and I was really kind of shocked. But
as proper as they're supposed to be.
Right. Now, there's going to be new rules for sex workers that came into force on April the 1st of this year. According to officials, requiring Amsterdam sex work businesses to close their doors at 3 a.m. rather than 6 a.m. to combat what local authorities described as a nuisance behavior by people visiting. So the reduced hours come amid an ongoing campaign by the city council to move the sex workers into an erotic center outside of the heart of the city. Amsterdam is also introducing measures to limit waterway cruises and impose restrictions on vacation rentals, as well as lobbying for an aviation tax to tackle budget flights. So there's a lot of things going on.
It sounds like people
Amsterdam
are really screwing up over there to make their and I've seen pictures. Beautiful place.
Well, yeah. And that's not the only reason why people visit.
If you got a whole bunch of people coming in and just trashing up your town, yeah, do something, make them quit.
Well, you kind of get this, it's kind of like Vegas.
Yep.
You get a reputation.
Yep.
you're going to have to live by that reputation. And a lot of people are kind of upset because they're like, this is the red light district is kind of why people come to visit.
A lot of people do, yeah.
And I know
I've read about sex tourism.
Yeah, there's beautiful museum and architecture that people are also visiting. But there's a lot of focus on this red light district. So I did find a nice little article here that says a short history of the red light district. So it says prostitution in Amsterdam is nearly as old as the city itself. As early as the 15th century and possibly earlier, the first prostitutes arrived to earn a living in their harbor or in the harbor of Amsterdam. The red light district is still located in the oldest part of the city. The women initially piled their trade into the streets. In the 60s, the police made it illegal to solicit from doorways. Sitting behind the window was tolerated if the curtains were almost closed. By burning a red light behind the chink, it was clear to men that they could come here for a prostitute.
So that's where the red light district come from.
Right.
Cool.
Today, it is allowed to keep the curtains open, but the red lights are still used. As a result of the evening hours are the best time to visit. The red light district then comes to life and clearly shows where its name originated. Now, other activities of the red light district. You can do more in the red light district than stroll past the prostitutes' windows. It is home to the Museum of Prostitution, where you can learn about this profession, explore its history, and take the opportunity to stand behind a window yourself. You are allowed to
They don't want me in that window.
You are allowed to take pictures, but are not required to receive customers, of course. Want to know more about the cannabis use? That case, you should visit the Cannabis College. This is where you will find more information about safely using cannabis. You can always visit the garden to see how the plant grows. There's monumental buildings. If you like historical buildings, visiting the red light district in Amsterdam is certainly recommended. The city's oldest residence, for instance, is located on, now I'm going to try to say this correctly, Wormversat, Warmoesstraat. So Wormversat, number 90. The facade dates back from the 18th century, but it was recently discovered that the structure behind the facade is much older. The residence itself was probably erected. Erected.
You said erected.
Yeah, in 1485.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's a lot of little things there. So I think it's kind of cool. They have a
prostitute museum.
Yeah, a prostitution museum. How cool is that?
That is pretty cool.
I
would go to that.
I've seen a lot of pictures of Amsterdam, and from a photographer's point of view,
I've seen it. I thought it was beautiful.
yeah, it's on my list.
Yeah.
And here's my dumbass. I didn't know it was in the Netherlands. I just no clue.
Yeah, well,
I mean, I really had a dirt moment. I was like, what? Really? Huh? Now, my daughter got to go to Amsterdam
oh really?
for like an airport because they had to switch airports there.
Yeah.
And while she was there, she did buy my son a cool pot grinder from the airport. But it does say Amsterdam on it.
Yeah.
So, I thought that was kind of cool
Yeah.
that she got to do that. And
Surprised she didn't get arrested in
Dude.
OKC for paraphernalia.
no, she just tucked it in
Well,
her
they don't x-ray it on the way out.
No, she tucked it in her bag along with her wine from Rome and everything else. She snuck back my Kalamala olives from Athens. So
Oh my God.
I told her,
Yeah.
I said, I need Kalamala olives, like the real deal. And she brought me some back.
Man.
But they were all TSA approved. So
Was they? Oh, okay.
even
well,
the damn grinder was TSA approved.
Wow.
It had a little sticker on it.
well, that's something.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah, customs didn't catch her. They don't have to on that one.
nope. She had it all in her not her carry-on, but her
Little-
checked bag. She couldn't have got it on the carry-on, not the wine. She probably could have got the grinder, but she had it in her checked bag. And then, of course, the luggage got lost, so it was like 2 or 3 days before she actually got all of her stuff. But yeah, she was pulling out copious bottles of wine out of that bag. I was like, oh my God. Oh, child.
I taught you well.
Well, she could legally buy it over there.
She actually learned something from Max there.
She did.
He thought she never listened.
Exactly. I didn't even get to taste any of the wine that she brought back from Rome. I really didn't. I didn't get a chance to. So
yeah.
I don't know if it was any good or not. Italian wine. I don't know.
No idea.
I don't even remember what she said about it. I was just excited about them Kalamala olives. But, but the whole thing about Amsterdam is that I would like to visit just to visit. And then, of course, to me, the red light district is just a bonus.
Yeah.
So Max did send me something because he knew what my subject was going to be tonight. So he sent me a link about there are no regulations to using protection during sex in the red light district.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And from what this article he sent me was like crazily done with like statistics. And I just kind of like, can't process all that.
Too much numbers.
Well, I started just cherry picking it basically, but 34% of the male prostitutes that are heterosexual do not wear condoms.
Really?
38% of the male prostitutes who are gay do. So it's kind of what?
Huh.
So there was a little bit weirdness there, and I think it was most of the women that are prostitutes, if it is a woman-on-woman situation, then there's not really any protection there.
Yeah.
Most of the women do
Condom
require.
on their tongue.
Yeah, right.
What do you do? I mean, I don't know what you would do on that.
Most of the women there do require their male counterparts to wear a condom, but a lot of the male sex workers don't really wear them.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's basically up to the female caller to say, hey, would you please wear a condom? And I don't, and since like, it's not regulated for.
And like me, I'm not a condom liker person, but
if
I was going to be a prostitute, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be like doubling them up.
So yeah, but there's not really regulations. I mean, the study did say that a lot of the sex workers, they do get tested on a regular basis.
Well, that's good.
But I could not find a percentage of how many STDs come from Amsterdam.
You start thinking about all the travelers that come through there from
that's
all
what
over
I'm
the
saying.
countries, all over the world.
That would be like a requirement in my mind.
Yeah.
Don't be a fool, wrap your tool.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. That blows my mind. That really does.
It's interesting. It is. So I need to go through that article a little bit more in depth because it was kind of a last minute thing that Max sent me on that the STD thing, but I will figure it out because I'm sure I could have looked it up in a different thing, but I was like, I gotta get shit together here.
Well, you look it up and there's 100 pages, and the one you're wanting, like I said, is always on page 98.
Right. Okay. So with the Amsterdam stuff, here is I've got another list of top 36 Amsterdam fun facts. So the red light district has 4,465 residents.
That's not that many.
That's really not that many. But I guess they're talking about that central neighborhood.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think they're talking about Amsterdam as a whole. It has 8 windmills and 165 canals.
Okay. Yeah, because I saw pictures of the canals here just a few days ago, and I thought, wow.
Yeah.
Though they was really neat.
Window workers in Amsterdam pay 150 to 200 euro per night to rent a window brothel.
Damn.
I'm not even going to try to do some freaking conversion math.
Well, let's just say if it was
folks.
close to the same as dollars.
Yeah.
$150.
Yeah.
You better be flashing the goods and getting somebody in to pay for that.
So Amsterdam's red light district, it's called De Wallen in Dutch. So it's Wallen, and I know that they pronounce their W's like V's.
Okay.
So I hope I said that correctly. And Amsterdam is a series of narrow streets and alleys lined with small one-room apartments known as windows. These windows are usually occupied by a single woman advertising her services and are lit up with red lights to signal that they are in business. So let's see. The world's first gay marriage took place on April 1st, 2001 in Amsterdam. So there's a lot of things here.
A lot of stuff went on there.
Amsterdam has 164 cannabis coffee shops.
No, that doesn't surprise me.
And they do not allow tobacco use in their cannabis shops. In 2019, 11% of all jobs in Amsterdam were in tourism. I can see that.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, 11%, you might think that's a small number, but, that can be quite a bit of people.
Well, you start thinking about it, a lot of these places, like I travel to the Florida Keys, and I'd say probably 90% of their income is from tourism.
Yeah. Yep.
A few auto repair shops and things like that, and, regular service things that people need that live there, but most of it is for tourism.
Yeah. I can see that because it is the Florida Keys.
Yeah.
The oldest building in Amsterdam is the Old Church. Amsterdam is a city with a rich history dating back centuries, and this is reflected in its architecture. The Old Church is the city's oldest building, and it stands in the middle of the Red Light District. The church was originally built in the 13th century, and it has been through a lot in its 800-year history.
800 years,
So think
wow.
about that, a church in the middle of sin.
Somebody's defiled that thing.
Right?
They've had to have.
So the movie Ocean's 12 was recorded in Amsterdam. In the film, George Clooney's team wants to steal shares of the Dutch East India Company. One of the scenes took place in the coffee shop Damprik? Dampring? Dampring. Anyway, I'm not going to try this. I'm not trying to... Lord. But I think that's cool. I didn't know that.
Anybody from Amsterdam, Netherlands, or something, tell us how to pronounce some of these things.
Right. And the cannabis coffee shops are not allowed to sell more than 5 grams of cannabis per person, and you have to be 18 years of age or older. So the oldest house in Amsterdam is the gay club. Some of these are pretty interesting.
I think Cheech and Chong did their Cheech and Chong. One of their movies was in Amsterdam.
Right. Now let's see. You can go to Amsterdam and you can smoke all the pot you want if you're 18, but if you want to be a sex worker, you have to be 21.
Well, okay.
Yeah. The first condom shop in the world is located in Amsterdam's red light districts. And here we were just talking about they don't practice safe sex, but it was the first condom shop.
Huh.
So they do have a condom shop. Oh, here we go. Yeah. STD testing for sex workers in Amsterdam are not mandatory. So,
Yeah, I think I'd walk through, maybe take a few photos, but that'd be about it.
most of the architecture and buildings in Amsterdam are from religious descents. I guess I could.
Boy, they went stage left, didn't
That's
they?
probably why. That's probably why you start cramming something down somebody's throat. They're going to go the opposite every time. The former CEO of Heineken, Freddie Heineken, was kidnapped in 1983 by an infamous criminal. So I guess that Netherlands' most notorious criminals, although he had been active in crime since the early 80s, he achieved notoriety with his involvement in the 1983 kidnapping of Freddie Heineken. And I guess, of course, that happened in Amsterdam.
Well, they got all kinds of history there.
They do. They do. They get 3.1 million visitors a year.
Wow. That's a lot.
I know. Rembrandt's wife is buried in the Red Light District. Wow, really? Huh, that's interesting. So yeah, there is a lot going on in Amsterdam. And I've always wanted to visit Amsterdam, but not for the Red Light District. Like, I didn't figure out the Red Light District was a thing until I was like in my 20s.
You can go there and just buy you a one-way ticket and then work for a little while and be able to buy your way back.
Dude. I should. No, I think that it's a fascinating place, and what really caught my attention is that it was all on the news, and you don't really hear about it on the news.
No.
And it caught my ear, and I was like, what's going on with the Red Light District? What? So
Yeah, that's fascinating. It really is.
it's fun, to think about that. But here's the thing: are they really going to put a stop to it? Because that was kind of one of the news things: are you going to put a stop to it?
Once you get something like that going, it would be very hard. That town would probably dry up.
That's what a lot of people were saying. A lot of the locals are kind of pissed about how the streets are treated. And it's just kind of become a thing for, years and years, decades and decades. But a lot of the tourists who have visited have said, look, we don't just go there for the Red Light District. There's other things that we can see.
there's
But
some.
if you take that away, you're going to lose a lot of business.
Yeah.
So
You figure you get a couple bad eggs is going to mess up a whole bunch.
I say we should book a trip to Amsterdam.
Hell yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. I'll walk through the red light district, but I don't think I want to actually stop and pay any visits.
Pussy.
Yep.
Why not?
Why would I pay a woman to be disappointed? I do that with candy all the time.
But you can disappoint a woman in Amsterdam in the red light district. Put that on your resume, bud. Come on. And she can get disappointed by some guy in Amsterdam in the red light district. Hello, let's have fun. Let's do this. Funny
Okay, Candy.
Yep, Candy. I'm going to Amsterdam.
Yep. Start booking the trip.
That's right. Well, we can always book it through EF Tours.
Yeah.
They'll let us pay it out for 3 years at least.
Yeah.
Can you see us going there with a guide?
And a bunch of kids.
You don't know. You can be.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can be adults.
Oh, really?
EF Tours is not just for kids.
Yeah.
It's for adults too. But they do have guides, and I'd be like, are we going to get like 3 hours alone here? Because
Am I going to get 3 minutes alone here?
no, you got to take at least 2 hours to choose.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's like a kid in a candy
2
shop.
hours and 50 minutes to choose.
I'll just be walking down the streets of the red light district with my dick lollipop. I'm so indecisive, I would just not even know. I would just be enamored by what I'm seeing.
I would too. I'd be interested in looking.
Oh, yeah. And, here's the thing. I
was
wonder...
told Candy, it's fine if I window shop, just as long as I don't stop by nothing, right?
Right. Yeah. So you could window shop. Just don't put your dick in your hands and start jacking off.
No kidding. Find out what the inside of their jails look like.
Exactly. You might not get out. I don't know. I think it's fascinating. I've always kind of been in the back of my mind that Amsterdam would be cool to visit.
Yeah.
But until it, brought light to the red light district, when I first figured out about it, I really was like, it's always kind of been there. And that it's a real place. Like, living in this little bubble that we're in all the time, you kind of are, slack jawed at what? This shit goes on? But then you think of Vegas.
And,
Vegas is kind of the same. I mean, it's not as pronounced, but it's there.
Yeah, and it's very there. It's just harder to get to unless you go outside into a certain county. I think is what it is.
Well, right, but and then it's, you know where it's at.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get a hooker in Vegas quite easily.
I have on good authority that it's very expensive because first you got to pay a couple $100 to the finder.
Well,
that hooks you up with the one you got to pay the extra money to.
I'm sure that somewhere on Fremont Street there are hookers walking around that you can just pay $100 and get a little something.
I'll tell you, they're pretty tight on it in town. They really are. They are.
I've heard other stories.
Yeah, well.
One of our friends got a hooker and fucking got drunk and could not even perform. So in Vegas,
yeah, well,
he was too drunk to even know the hooker was there.
I know exactly which friend you're speaking of.
And when I
Fireball.
When I asked how hard it was to get a hooker, it was his brother that did it, and his brother's like, "Oh no, yeah, we had a card. We had a business card. So there you go. Huh. They had a business card. They were passing them out on the streets.
Wow.
So it ain't that hard. But who wants a hooker in Vegas when you can get one in Amsterdam? It's cooler.
For us, it's cheaper to get to Vegas, though.
Yeah, that's true. It is.
But it's pretty sketchy.
Well,
it is pretty sketchy.
I'm sure Amsterdam's pretty sketchy too. I mean, I don't know if I'd want to be alone on those streets at night with a bunch of horny individuals that can't afford to.
Yeah.
So that's what I think of. I think of things like that. I know I'm not trying to put a damper on anybody's fun, but
I've seen enough of Vegas. I would rather see Amsterdam.
Really? I've never been to Vegas.
God,
I've never had an interest to go to Vegas.
If it wasn't for the flashy lights and the bells ringing on the casinos, it's a shithole. I mean, you're in the middle of nothing.
If I went to Vegas, and me and Max have joked, if we go to Vegas, we're not coming back. And I know what he means by that. I mean, I'm going to end up being a stage performer somewhere. I guarantee it. But Max is going to end up in an alley somewhere with some hooker. and a bottle of Jack or something.
Yeah.
But I've never really had a want to visit Vegas. I mean,
There's some
I
good
would like to walk
shows,
down.
but it's
I would like to walk down one of the streets and just say, yeah, I walked down like Fremont Street or something.
yeah.
And
I mean, it is. That's cool.
Yeah.
I've been there twice. To
maybe
Fremont
watch the street performers. That would be kind of cool.
Walked up and down the strip. It was cool to see, but I just can't make that a destination. My parents loved going there. They would go out there 3 or 4 times a year.
You were there a lot.
Well, I didn't go with them.
Oh.
No, they started ditching me when I was 13. Here's $100.
Kind of like you started ditching your kids to go to the Keys.
My kids was already pretty much grown by then. But yeah, they and I still take them on vacations. So no, it wasn't the same. It's like $100. You can drive because where we are. Drive to town, get yourself a pizza, come back home, rent a movie, whatever. Back in VHS days.
Oh my God. Come on down to the Blockbuster.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Don't get pulled over because we're out of town. I've been pretty well self-sufficient since 13.
Yeah, that's funny. But one of our buddies, he just went to Vegas this last week. I haven't heard from him yet.
Oh, yeah?
I think it'd probably be like his 20th trip. So he went down there with some family. So who knows how much he lost. Since we hadn't heard from him, I'm sure he's licking his wounds and has
this
been.
Ralph?
Yes,
Oh,
it is
okay.
Ralph. Ralph has gone to Vegas. Again.
Yeah, he likes it out there.
He
He
does.
loves to gamble.
He does love to gamble.
I'm not big on the gambling, so it's not that appealing to me.
Yeah, to me, a casino's a casino. I'm going to lose my money either fucking
Right,
way. I'm not
yeah.
going to win anymore.
They don't keep the lights on by handing me money.
Exactly. So, do you have a subject for us this week?
Well, yeah, I do. And this is kind of, I don't know, a little off subject from what we was, but not too far. I was looking at some pornography. Imagine that.
Oh, yeah, imagine that, you dirty, dirty man.
And I typed in Oklahoma.
Oh, shit.
And there was some on there, a few people. And they was amateurs.
Of course.
So I kind of got to thinking, well, where are these porno people from? And and I looked it up, and it's really hard to get a count. And it shows, basically the top places that watch porn and things like that. But I did find 4 from Oklahoma that are, I guess, famous because they was on the list. And it would be Ashlyn Brooke, Gentile, BB Jones, and Stacy Valentine.
Okay.
And I don't know any of them.
I don't either.
But like I said, I watch a lot of amateur.
So they came from Oklahoma.
Supposedly, yes. And, okay. It's asking these porn stars where they're from. A total of 939 female porn stars claim California as their birthplace. While it's not very close, Florida came in second with 216. And they say, a lot of them say they're from California, even if they're not, because that's where most of it's filmed.
Right.
But then I found the places that watch the most porn, and it gives top 10 is what I've got, I think it is. And let's see, most porn addicted city in America is Orlando, Florida. Second is Las Vegas. Third is Wilmington, Delaware. Fourth, Raleigh, North Carolina. Charlotte, North Carolina. Minneapolis, Atlanta, Georgia. Tampa, Florida. Anchorage, Alaska, and Austin, Texas.
And these are the people that watch
These are
porn
the
most.
most watched cities that watch the most porn. And the ones that watch it the least: Jackson, Mississippi, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, Charleston, West Virginia, Lubbock, Texas, Laredo, Texas, Toledo, Ohio, Lincoln, Nebraska, Fargo, North Dakota, and Norfolk, Virginia.
Wow. Well, I can see West Texas not watching any porn. They're too worried about football.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, God, guns and glory over there in West Texas. Shout out to West Texas, y'all. I was born in West Texas.
But it says, in fact, the 520 saddest American towns made the top 20 porn capitals, including Atlanta 14th, Las Vegas 10th, Miami 8th, and Tampa 4th. So they're the most addicted to porn, and they're the most unhappy places.
Huh.
Or the saddest.
So, but you were saying when you started this that you actually seen some porn that was filmed in Oklahoma?
Yeah, it was amateurs.
Really? Did they say what part of Oklahoma?
One woman was from Tahlequah.
Tahlequah? Was she native? I'm just wondering.
She may have been. I didn't. And she really didn't do porn so much on hers. It was more like a strip show.
Oh, okay.
And, somebody filming her, like, sitting on a kitchen countertop and stuff like that. And then there was one, and she was supposedly trying to break into the porn business, and her name was not on this. I cannot remember what her name was. But she actually did a couple of videos, and I watched them, and it was mediocre. I mean, she was I would say, a good-looking girl. Probably some silicone here and there.
Did they look like they were done in a Motel 6?
No. Actually, that one I think was professionally made that had her in.
Oh, so they were up at the Holiday Inn.
Yeah. Express.
Yeah.
Continental breakfast. But
we're just making porn at the Marriott here.
She was in a couple, and she was saying she was from Oklahoma and she was getting into the business. But her name did not pop up on that list anywhere. So I can't remember what her name was, but it was not on there.
You know, you and I, we can sit here, we can talk about all kinds of sex shit, and we can come up with some of this craziest stuff on our own, or, go back and forth about stuff that we read. But it's so funny to me that there is still a naiveness to me to where I still was like, really? Somebody's doing porn in Oklahoma? What? Where it almost seems unheard of, knowing how
everybody is
tight-notched our fucking state is.
And you think about it, some of the people that we run around with even, they're all loose-lipped with it and stuff, but they're also kind of prudes in a lot of ways.
Oh, they're fucking prudes as fuck.
Really
they like to talk a lot of shit is what they like to do.
Yeah.
And they ain't backing none of that up. I mean, we had a friend that could talk about fucking 20 women. Yeah. And he'll tuck a tail and run if one fucking gets naked in front of him.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's so funny, but to think about that, the state is really, notched up with everything. I'm surprised we got our liquor laws changed to where we can buy, beer higher than 3.2 for Christ's sake. And we were like, what, one of the last ones?
Yeah. Like in Kansas, you could buy it at a Quick Stop. It was 3.2. You could go to a liquor store and buy cold beer.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And it was 6.
And see, in here you couldn't buy...
you cannot buy it on a Sunday.
You couldn't buy 6-point beer cold here for a long time. You could buy
warm, and all of our domestic beers wouldn't sell it like that.
Yeah, and you weren't getting a domestic 6-point beer in this state before they changed those laws.
Nope.
And I remember the weekend they did... And that was in effect. Everybody was drunk off of 3 cans of beer.
Well, I remember there was a beer drought because that was changing and nobody would restock until the new came in.
Yeah, that was happening too.
And I just came back from Houston, Texas, and everybody, when I walked in your house,
everybody's dry mouth and salivating.
Everybody was looking at me like, "Did you bring beer?" I was like, "No." And Boner was drinking orange Bud Light. I was like, "Is that good?" He's like, "Nope."
Yeah, it was a pretty sad time for us around here.
I think some of you all drove like 80 miles to get beer.
I think Ralph drove quite a bit. I think he went on a beer run, like a real beer run, like an old school beer run.
I think your neighbor had his woman at the time drive him a long ways to get some too.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a drought going on, but you got to understand, a lot of these people, especially in this town, they were Keystone Light people.
Yeah.
So they weren't going to drink Coors.
Right.
Well, they might, but they weren't going to drink Bud Light.
No.
They weren't going to drink Shiner Bock. And nobody wanted to fork out the money for Blue Moon. So they were being babies is what they were being.
What's funny is I had been in Houston at a school, and my boss, I'd rode with him. And as we're coming out of Texas, he goes, "Do you want to stop and get any beer to take home with you?" And I was like, "Nah, I'm good." And I got back, and when I get to the Quick Stop, there wasn't nothing there. Nothing.
It was quite interesting. It really was.
I was like, wow, beer drought.
Yeah. All because we changed our damn liquor laws.
Yeah.
We changed them for the better.
Yeah. But there was like 2 weekends in a row that it was miserable around here.
It was, but boy, when that shit
I walk
came
in and there's 20 people sober sitting in your living room.
there's a problem. There's a problem. But the thing is like, I wasn't joking. Like, when we could get the beer, it was like everybody's drunk off 3 cans of beer. And I'm like, oh, y'all are just, what the fuck, y'all?
That's why I stayed with cheap, because it didn't go up very much.
Right. So I don't know, but this state, it has its moments of small clarities, you know, and I love this state. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't want people to think I'm hating on Oklahoma. I'm not.
There's so much different terrain. You can see all kinds of things.
But there's a lot of, you know, a lot of uptight people when it comes to sex. I'm surprised we actually have medical marijuana.
It's surprising how many of the young ones are so uptight about it.
I know. It blows my mind. You'd think they would
be a little easier going on this stuff.
No. And
I think the older ones was probably had a lot more fun.
And the sad thing is like, if we want to look at everything in a whole, it's, you know, I was actually talking to a friend of mine about this podcast, and, you know, we were talking, and he pretty much, you know, said, your podcast is so niched. He said, and your content is so, you know, sexual in nature, of course. Mm-hmm. He said that people aren't going to share your shit like you think they are, because they don't want any of their friends knowing they're listening to stuff like this. And I get it, you know, but at the same time, and I understand that, and I understood that going into this, but at the same time, it's like, loosen up a little bit. Yeah, people.
My target audience was never any of our neighbors.
Oh,
in any way, shape, or
no,
form.
I'm surprised we even have listeners in Oklahoma.
Yeah, exactly.
I really am. I mean, Lord, I'm surprised at how many we do have.
Yeah,
and surprised enough, it's not people that know us. So that's always a good thing.
Yeah,
because let me just face it. Let me just put it to you this way, people. Our friends, there's maybe 4 that listen to this podcast. Yeah. The rest of them say they're going to listen.
And they don't.
The others are behind.
Yeah.
And they've probably just stopped listening. None of our friends listen.
Yeah, because Lola listened for a while, and she's on episode like 15 or 16.
I think she's still on the same episode she started on when she first started. So I don't know. Yeah, and Cinnamon, she listens when she can.
Yeah.
So
and now it's going to be busy time of the year.
When I see our numbers in Oklahoma as much as they are, I think, well, that ain't our friends.
No, it's not.
That's a good feeling, actually.
Yeah. We're reaching a different audience.
So somebody out there enjoys listening to 2 dorks talk about sex.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think I would want this state to be as loosey-goosey as Vegas.
No.
But I would like for them to be a little bit more liberal.
Yeah, quit being uptight.
Yeah. And it's one of those things that's never going to happen. But so when you say that there is porn stars that come from Oklahoma, I'm like, what? Yeah. Really?
And I was hoping to see a dozen, you know.
All right. What did you think? 4? 4. Yeah, 4. Yep. Is that 4?
And one of them actually said she was from Choctaw.
Wow.
And the others it did not say.
You know, I wonder if people that are not from Oklahoma that listen to this damn podcast are on their Google Maps going, where the fuck, what's a Choctaw? What's a Tahlequah?
I think a lot of them are like, what the fuck is Oklahoma?
They fucking actually have civilization there? They got a city? Oklahoma City? You mean they're not all running around in covered wagons and loincloths? What?
Well, I remember one time Charles Barkley even said, Oklahoma, whenever we was getting a basketball team.
Yeah.
There ain't nothing but cows there.
Right.
And one of our newscasters went and surprised him on a set and said, here's some tickets to Oklahoma. And brought him in and toured him around. And he was like, hey, that place pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, we're not as big as, say, Dallas or L.A. or New York City.
I think there's more people in Dallas than there is in the whole state of Oklahoma.
Right. I mean, but we have our moments.
Yeah.
we do have, running water and electricity and that internet.
Yeah.
And we got one qualifiable skyscraper.
Yes, we do. Yes,
I'm proud of that Devon Tower, damn it.
Oh.
Ooh.
And it looks like a phallus.
Dude. Wonder how many people have fucked on the top of that thing. Like,
makes you wonder, doesn't it? You know those workers in that restaurant way up high
Oh yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
in the evening?
That's what I'm wondering.
I bet they
Dude,
fool
I'm
around
so
looking at them.
fucking scared of heights. I would puke.
I definitely wouldn't lean against the glass.
No, I would puke. I couldn't do it. Could not do it. And you think about that, like, say New York City, you know, the skyscrapers there, how many people have fucked on the tops of that shit? Just to be like, I have fucked on top of the world.
Oh.
I can't.
That's the people that have the airplane deal. They would like something like that.
That would make me queasy.
Being up high, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I couldn't get on your roof and it's a 1-story house.
Exactly. I'm with you. Babe, I want to be closer to the stars. We're just going to have to do it down here on the ground.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have to go out where there are no lights around so we can see the stars.
Let's just get on top of a mountain.
Yeah.
That might be a little better.
Yeah. The air would be too thin. I'd be like,
right? If we got on top of a real mountain.
Yeah, carry your oxygen bottle with you.
My sister did that when she went to Colorado.
Oh, yeah.
And I kept making fun of her because she said she had like 5 or 6 of those oxygen bottles. And of course, I'm making fun of her in all aspects. I was like, oh, okay. So, you know, did you get busy and have to be like, wait, babe, and start sounding like Darth Vader with your oxygen bottle? And she was getting mad at me a little bit. And she's like, no, I was getting altitude sickness.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm thinking, okay, maybe you were. I'm not doubting that she wasn't. But at the same time, it seemed a little ridiculous, her story.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then I think about it. I am not used to that kinds of altitude. So I might be the same way, huffing on an oxygen bottle because they sell them in the store.
It never bothered me.
But it would be nice to go to the top of one of those mountains and
Pikes Peak, yeah.
get busy. I'm not Pikes Peak.
It was cold. No, it was late June. Oh, it was July last time I was there, and there was still snow on the top.
I'd love it.
No, it was
I
cold.
love it. I think it's cool. Did you fuck on top of it?
No.
Well, then you ain't cool.
I'm not cool.
You're
I'm
not
definitely not cool.
How are we friends? See, one of us is supposed to like live the big life, and the other one's supposed to live vicariously through.
Yeah.
Why do I got to be the one that's the adventurous one?
And you're always here.
I know. You don't know what I do from Monday through Thursday.
I think there was 2 children and a grandchild with us the last time we went up it. So
and
yeah, well,
they go to bed.
Well, on top of Pikes Peak, you can't.
Well,
there's only one thing up there,
and you tell them to turn
go right
around
back down
and watch the sunset, and don't look back until the sun is gone.
Yeah. Oh, nice try.
Yeah, I know. That ain't gonna happen ever. Oh well, our hour is up. I know it's a little short, but you know, it's one of those days.
Yes, it is.
But I do appreciate you guys listening, and I am very, very sorry again for all the Pandora and streaming upsets that have happened this last couple weeks.
Look for us.
Yeah, just please keep searching for us. We're still here.
Yeah.
But I am very happy with our new podcast host. It is Podbean. They offer us a lot of different perks and settings and stuff that we can do. And they give us the option to also go live if we want to.
Cool.
So that might be something fun to do for maybe our Facebook group, is do a live show and then take that live show and then put it out there on a Taboo Tuesday.
Yeah.
So I think that would be kind of cool, just have a small group of people that get to listen to us live if they want to. And if that's something you think that would be fun for you guys, you got to let us know.
Yeah.
You got to let us know that you would actually listen to one of our live shows, that you would listen to some of the stupid shit that we edit out.
Yeah, you could look at a picture of a guitar while we're talking.
Actually, it would just be live audio, like on the radio.
Okay. Oh,
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, they wouldn't actually see inside the studio, but
cool.
Yeah.
That's probably better.
But yeah, so I hope you guys are always still listening. Please don't give up on us. Please hit us up, dirtytalktp@gmail.com. Remember, you can also reach out to us and get on our website at TammiPreacher.com. That's Tammi with an I. And don't forget to join our Facebook group, Dirty Talk with Tammi and the Preacher, because we need more people in there.
And Preacher with a P.
Yes, it's Preacher with a P, in case you didn't know. Yeah. All right, guys, I hope you have had a fabulous Taboo Tuesday.
And remember, if the sex isn't fun, you're not doing it right.